Question number 5, the Honourable Annette King.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question's to the Minister responsible for Whanau Ora. Does she stand by all her recent statements?
The Honourable Tariana
Mr
Turia.
Speaker, I'm hoping I can, but it will really depend on what statement the member is referring to.
The Honourable Annette King.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. On what evidence did she base her answer last week that there had been 30 years of failed provision from existing service provision, and that is why Whanau Ora was needed?
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
The statistical data that is collected, which is floated in front of us on a daily basis as to how badly Māori families in particular are doing.
The Honourable Annette King.
Question, Mr Speaker. Has she read the 2009 social report from the Ministry of Social Development that shows there has been substantial improvement for Māori in many measurable indicators, particularly over the last 10 years, during a time when in fact she was a minister in a Labour-led government? And why does she call those gains made for Māori and provided by mainstream and Māori providers failures?
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
Mr Speaker, I think it is important to acknowledge what has worked well, but we think we can do considerably better, hence the new program.
The Honourable Annette King.
Does she stand by her statement that, quote, the approach this government is taking to address well-being of whānau is a different approach to that taken in the past? The government has committed itself to work with whānau, hapu and iwi, and the government's policy aims to drive Māori development through a new partnership approach between whānau, hapu and iwi. And is she aware that all those statements were made when she was in a Labour-led government? If so, what changes has this government made to that approach?
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
Mr Speaker, it is one thing to make the statements, it is another thing to implement them.
The Honourable Annette King.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. Does she stand by her statement that training has already begun for the 20 providers for Whanau Ora? If so, who are the providers? How are they chosen? And why haven't they been announced yet?
Honourable Tariana Turia.
Mr Speaker, what I did say that there were some providers who had begun to provide training to their staff, and they have done that from their own budgets and in their own time.
Question number 6, Shane.